Alright. Alright. Basic questions that come up when people are considering starting martial arts training. There's always, it seems that the same questions keep coming up when people contact us in relation to making inquiries about martial arts classes. Like basic questions like, you know, what kind of equipment do I need? What kind of fitness level should I be at? You know, will I get hurt? There's a variety of different questions that keep getting asked, so I'm going to try and answer as many of them here now as I can. The first question that I seem to get asked an awful lot is like, what kind of fitness level you should be at when you're starting training. To me personally, you know, martial arts training is a form of self-development, so depending on what martial arts you train in, there's going to be more emphasis put on strength. Some other martial arts will have a lot of emphasis on flexibility because they're practicing a lot of high kicks. You know, some martial arts will put a heavy focus on endurance. It's basically different from art to art. But one thing I will say is this, is that, you know, if you have a good instructor, they will show you basically how to work from your own level and progress over time. Things like overall strength, stamina, etc. These are things that are not acquired overnight. They do actually take an awful lot of time. So if you're progressive and if you're consistent, those things will come naturally. The next thing that keeps getting asked about is will I get hurt? Once again, this is not a question that I can actually answer really for someone starting off. The only thing that you can do as an instructor is basically try and educate people to actually train intelligently. So in other words, when they're training, making sure that they actually have the proper hand alignment, making sure that they're carrying the correct stance. So it's not an easy question to answer, but the basic answer that I give to people is that no, you probably won't get hurt if you're actually training correctly. The other thing is that, like, what should people focus on? What should the focus be when actually starting martial arts? Well, this is something I find very interesting, and the reason is because for me personally, there's actually two things that you should always focus on. One is your basic technique, how you actually apply basic strikes, how you apply basic defenses, and your stances. The reason why I actually put so much focus on those things is simply because regardless of what level you're at in martial arts, whether you're a first-time beginner or a 10th degree black belt, in your training you will always come back to those basic principles, your basic strikes, your basic stances, which are your foot positions, your body alignment. These are the things that you should focus on. If you're someone who actually watches martial arts demonstrations on YouTube, you know, you'll see an awful lot of advanced people doing some very elaborate movements. Well, you have to remember one thing. Elaborate movement is nothing more than a culmination of individual pieces of movement. So in other words, you see some guy on YouTube and, you know, he's throwing all these crazy shot combinations, and it looks really dramatic and it's really impressive. When you break that down to its basic elements, that is nothing more than individual strikes done in a certain sequence. So my best advice to people is just focus on those basic movements. Focus on those basic movements and how they're applied. How do you do a basic punch? How do you do a basic elbow? How do you throw a basic knee, a basic round kick, etc. So keep that in mind if you're a beginner coming into the martial arts world. It's very important that you put an awful lot of emphasis on those basic principles. Don't mind the dramatic stuff, don't mind the kind of elaborate elements of it. If that's what your goal is to be able to do elaborate movements, you'll get there, but it will take time. But do focus on your basics and you will naturally get better at the art over time. We hope this information was useful. If you liked the video, please consider clicking the subscribe button below, and we'll see you again.